How are we doing, everyone? Today we're looking at some of Serket's abilities and what I think some of the best throws are for Ahket, really. We're going to be going through all the different maps. We'll go through them all in a little series. Today we're just going to start on this, so let's get into it. So we'll go over a very, very quick overview of what Serket's abilities are. First one is station to station. This is basically a teleport of sorts, but you can be seen while you're moving from location to location. Gold dust. This is basically a tornado of dust or sand that will push down the map, and you can use it to stop it in a location, and it'll spread out and cover an area. And dilemma is the one we're going to be concentrating on today. This is more like a sand pit, or like some sort of quicksand kind of ability, where you can pull people into the center of it, and it just holds them there while the actual ability is ongoing. This is great to be teamed with other people's abilities. You can use it with Broker's rocket launcher as well, for example. So if someone's going to push a corner, throw it down, they get pulled into it. Broker uses their rocket launcher, does the job, kills them. But we'll get into some better ones now where you can kind of rely on yourself a little bit more. We're going to start off with the attacking tips first. A lot of these that I play with are more aggressive tips. They can be used for pushing with the actual bomb to the site, or for trying to basically make the defenders move out of the way. We'll start off with simple ones, but there are some more complex ones in there as well. This first one's a pretty easy one. So basically you want to come just behind a window and it'll get you into a main. If the defenders are holding this door down here and they're trying to push up, if you take your ability and you aim just at the top of the door, I'll try and zoom in on the footage here so you guys can actually see where I'm looking. And you throw that, it will land perfectly in the doorway. That'll pull them into the middle. If you've got someone on the boxes here, they can always just step up and grab them. I team a lot of my abilities with utility. So, for example, I would go like that, so that you have flame there. So when they get pulled into the flame, it immediately starts doing damage to them and can kill them. This next one's a little bit more situational. It works a lot better if this door is closed. Normally, the defenders will lock it if they know that you're going to try and push this way. If they do, they're normally going to want to hide in the corner of the room around here, around the wall. So if you get through the door, they just step out and they get you from the cover. If you stand just here at this corner of this window and you aim just at the middle of this circle here in the blue, again I'll try and zoom in so you guys can see it, you'll be able to land Serket's ability right behind the wall, or right at the edge of the wall. So as your team comes through the door, it's pulling them out into the middle. Again, this ability that you're throwing from here, it can be teamed with other things. So for example, you can throw that, and then if you can get the angle just right, you can sometimes fire one of these as well. That wasn't just right, but you can see the point. If I was to get it a little bit lower, it would, there you go, just like that. And then that's going to do a hell of a lot of damage to the attackers as you're pushing in through this doorway. Me and you've only really got this to concentrate on here. Another little simple one, for this works as well for if the door's open. It's just a little bit harder to get the throw off if the door's open, unless you were to go and stand behind these boxes. But if you get Serket's ability, and you can line this up relatively easily, but you can aim pretty much as long as it goes over the top of the actual doorway. You can just throw it, and it'll land right in the opposing doorway. That's going to stop the attackers from being able to push or be able to fall back if they need to fall back. Right, so we're over at B site now. Over on B site, you can sit here in the corridor, just as you come out of the attacker's spawn. Make sure you're standing up on this little piece of sort of sandstone brick that's just here. You want to stand as far into the corner as you can, and you want to aim just at the top of the radar dish there. Not quite over the top of the top piece of, like, metal, I guess, but just, like, right below it. If you can line that up just perfect, it takes a little bit of practice, this one, but if you can line it up just right, you'll get it to land in the doorway like that. And again, you can team that with, say, fire, for example, or explosive, and you can really cause some trouble for the defenders who are trying to hold down that backside of B. Right, so these next couple of pushes can be a little bit difficult to pull off sometimes, mainly if the defenders are pushing straight out of the site as soon as the round starts to try and cut you guys off. If they do, you're going to need some cover to maybe hold it down for you, someone to keep an angle here or something like that. But if you basically line up this left corner near the aircon unit and you aim at this bush just here, you'll see that when we throw it, it will land just over by the cover that they used to sit behind. Now, of course, you can try and get it behind the cover. It's a little bit harder to do. It doesn't quite go right behind. The closest you can probably get it is about there. And again, teaming that up with something like a flame or a smoke, or even just using it for a smoke. So a lot of these things you can use even if you don't play Serket. This next one is a little bit more similar to the B corridor one. So you can stand in this doorway here. It's another way of getting over towards the back door of B, so that you can hold down that elevator area and stop them from being able to use the elevator to get up, or just even use the door for general access to things. What you want to try and do is you want to try and get your crosshair to aim at the leftmost palm leaf, which is just here, right there, and then you want to aim at that, and that's going to land just behind the actual cover that they would use for B. It's not going to stop them from getting to the door as easily, but it is going to stop them. See, it does cover some of the door, but it's going to really stop them from using that as a place to hide behind. So as you throw that in, your team can come and push round, and they're only going to have this bit of cover and this bit of cover. If you would use the other throw that we did as well, and you put something over here, you're pretty solid push going on right there, really. Right, so we're back on A site this time, but we're going for the defenders now. So this one is a little bit of a finicky one. It can be a little bit difficult to really get the angle just right. But if you come over here and you stand just on this corner, and you look over up towards the arch over here, you want to be aiming just here. Again, I'll zoom in so you guys can kind of see where to look. There's no real thing to aim for. You just have to aim for a certain sort of spot. You throw your Serket's ability just there. It will land right on the corner of the room. It will land right on the corner. So if they want to try and get a wide push and really start pushing, you can hold that off. If they come here and they want to try and get an angle on the peak, well, they can, but there's going to be stand here and potentially any other ability or utility that you might have used. This next one's a little bit situational. It covers A square and B link. It's going to cover this little point here where they would come through. If someone was to go up in the elevator and through the tower, they would cut through the tower to get round to there. This is what they're going to stop. Again, it's a little bit situational. Yeah, it works, but you're not going to get a crazy amount of kills with it. It's more to try and stop rumors and things like that. So the way you want to do this is you want to come and stand on the very point of the triangle, just here. And you want to aim up at this darker spot here. You want to aim just about there, probably. And then as you throw Serket's ability, it will cover that quite nicely. It will cover it well enough that no one can actually get through. They even can't really push through that corner because it's going to pull them in there as well. So it takes that entire area out of bounds for a short amount of time. The great thing about this site in particular is a lot of Serket's abilities can be used from the same spot in order to get to multiple different locations. So we had the one before where you can go from there straight over. We had the one from here where you can go straight up into there. And this one, if you stand again on this triangle and you throw Serket's ability, you want to kind of be aiming just off the side of the sand archway just above here. If you aim just off the side of it and you throw her ability, you can get it to go right at the bottom of the stairs there. So if you were to team that again with some other ability or some sort of utility, you can stop the attacker's push before it even begins. It's the same as if you were to stand over here, for example, and you were to throw something like that. That's immediately going to stop the defender's push at the same time. Probably not quite before it starts, but it's going to put them in a little bit of a disadvantage and maybe make them take a different angle to try and get to you. Or maybe even take a different site. Right, so now we're on to B site, and these are some of my favourite throws. Especially on this map, some of these really good throws. This first one, you want to line it up, so you want to stand just alongside this green thing here, and you want to put your crosshair along the side of the building, but about halfway up. The one thing you have to make sure of is that you don't hit the barbed wire, because that's going to stop you from actually doing this throw. It's best done with the utility as well, so that you can actually line it up beforehand. So like that, for example. This is going to go into B corridor, so as soon as the attackers come off the spawn and they try and go through the corridor to come round to B short, you're going to be able to stop that in its tracks. It only takes the defenders maybe 2 or 3 seconds to get there, so you have got to be quite quick off the bat. You've got to get this off straight away, but as soon as you do, you can just launch that straight up. It's going to bounce a little bit, but it'll land right in the doorway. Here you go, we'll give you another one and we'll go and have a look so you can see it. Lands right in this doorway here, so they can't actually push through and get all the way down into B corridor to get through towards the elevator. This next one is another one of my personal favorites. I absolutely love using this. I use this pretty much every time I defend. It's the one staple that I always go to. It's a really good way of figuring out if the defenders are going for B or if they're going for A straight off the bat. I team it with fire just to try and get that little bit of notification so that when they take damage it actually tells me what's going on over there, because the actual ability the Serket has doesn't deal any damage itself, it just pulls them into the center. You want to basically stand just off to the corner of this here and you want to aim at the diagonal most leaf of the palm tree, which is just here. You do that, you can throw this and that will land right on the start of the boardwalk as they come out of their spawn. If you get the other one off in B corridor first, they can push this way and you can get them that way instead. The only problem with both of these throws is you can't really do them both in the same game. You have to do one or the other, because by the time you've thrown one, it'll be too late for them to get to the other, because you have to get them right off the bat. As soon as it hits one, you need to be changing to your ability and getting ready to throw it straight away. This next one is a pretty decent one for if you know the attackers are coming down B corridor and B main, and you know that they're going to try and push around into the puddle here. If you know that they're somewhere in this area, let's say you know that they've come down this way, let's say you're holding them at B short, let's say they want to try and push through here. If you stand at the doorway to site B here, just by the elevator, you'd have to make sure you don't get shot from that angle. But if you stand just here and you aim just where those two palm trees make the sort of L shape, if you aim just in the middle of that L there, you can get Serket's ability to land right in the middle of the boardwalk again. So again, teaming this up with something like fire is going to just slow them down more than you would think. It's going to make them question their life decisions and whether it's worth actually going for B plant, because the fire is going to just tick them and tick them and tick them until they can't push because the health is too low. Quick little bonus tip for you guys as well is make sure you're using the different secondary weapon abilities, whether it's the flasher, the blaster, the smoker, or the burner. These are the equivalent of your grenades from something like Counter-Strike. So in my opinion, it's silly to not take them. You may as well have a primary, a secondary, and some sort of utility as well. And they can be used and teamed with these abilities, other Lancer abilities. They can be teamed with so many things. And all of these throws that I'm showing as well for Serket today, all of these throws will work with your other Lancers if you're using these different pistols. The next little tip would be careful of the timings on the throws. Let's say that the attackers are coming here and they want to try and come through and they want to track down to B. To get from here, if they charge their knife, it's only going to take them 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds to get to the point where Serket's ability is going to land. So you need to make sure that you've got these things lined up. That's why I bring these, so you can line them up beforehand. And then as soon as the round hits, you just go right, bang, ready, throw, and you can just get it straight off the bat. Hopefully, these tips and tricks will help you play more effectively as Serket and part of a team. Hopefully, they'll help you get a couple more kills. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Really helps a lot. Going to be having more tips and tricks of Fragment videos coming out soon. If you want me to do different Lancers, just let me know what Lancer you want to see in the comments down below. I'm going to leave you guys with a clip of me using one of these throws to get a very cheeky pentakill a couple of days ago on stream. Feel free to check that out. All links in the description. They're going to go B. They're going to go A again, aren't they, surely?
Oh.
They're not. They're coming B. They're coming B. They're coming B.
Nah, they're going A.
We've got bomb.
Oh.
They're up top.
Yeah, one up top.
I've got one on me as well.
Yep, they're still up.
All over, except for the
There you go.
10 to kill. I wiped their entire team then. That was